Welcome back to today's video. I guess you weren't here to begin with, so welcome to today's video. I'm taking the Impala out for a spin, and I gotta go get some supplies for work to do to this thing. So we're gonna be doing the radiator. My cold case is supposed to be here today. Hasn't showed up yet. Gonna give this thing an oil change. Already got the supplies for that. You know where we gotta go. Okay, so we're back from parts store. And I'm gonna start with the oil change because the motor is nice and hot. Got everything flushed around there and everything else. So gonna go through, do the pretty common oil change on this thing. I'll hack the filter open, see if we got any glitter, because this is my Power Tour oil change. We'll see how she did. Okay, oil change is done. Make sure you write your info on there. You know, so when you know. You know, I also decided to tip that over on a cloth so I can catch any metal fragments or whatnot that might fall out. I don't have anything that really cut that open. I'm sure you can find something, but I don't see signs on the filter dumping it onto that paper. I'm not going to bother. So, not really seeing anything, which is good. No glitter, sparkles, excessiveness going on there. Isn't bad. Isn't bad. I actually just took a little sample with my finger and pulled it out in the sun. Same thing. So I'm happy with that. Call that a win. Okay, so now we're going to fill her up. And then since the radiator is coming out here soon, I'm going to start with knocking off these oil lines. And I'm going to let those drip drain into my pan. That way we're not putting the old oil that's in there into the system. We can put the new radiator and have new fluid flowing through cleanage, you know? Okay. Take your 5/8 line, socket, that thing. Knock off your top bottom ones. Let them drain, drip into everything. I cleaned your floor. Man, just clean this. Ugh. So yeah, let those drip out and hang for a while. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 millimeters, 3/8, whatever you got. Pull the top shroud off, and that'll give you exposure to your radiator. Make sure if you got little rubber bushings or anything that are up in here, that you retain those because you're probably going to need them with your new one. So we're going to go ahead and set this guy off someplace over here where I'll randomly hit it and lose all my hardware because you know that's how it goes. Next, you're going to move on to disassembling the fans. Unhook the battery, you know, unhook your electrical connector over here. And you have another one right on top over here on the back side of this fan. Come on, light. Jeez. And then you'll have, I think they're 1/2 inch, maybe they're 10s, but you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pull off, and then you'll be able to pull your fans off relatively easy and get right to the radiator. After that, you're going to want to remove your transmission lines, which I have been soaking, as you guys have seen in a couple of videos for quite some time. Remove the transmission lines. And then, if you're so inclined, you're going to want to dump your fluid out and get it all over the floor, just like normally happens. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and disassemble all this crud and go from there. Maybe getting a little ahead of myself because radiator still isn't here yet. Said today, and then it moved to tomorrow. Me and these freaking radiators, I don't know. But at least it's going to be prepped, drop in, and go, right? Doesn't do too bad when it warms. Right. Well, I lied. Not really. Forgot. That's better. These are your top ones. Quite long. Hard to mistake. They're almost kind of like a wood screw. Those ones go on the top. The ones on the bottom are not really there. I forgot that they just kind of pop in and out. There's a little tab. So you're just going to have these two side ones to contend with, which is probably going to be 10 millimeter as well. Just wanted to side note that. All right, so they're out. Suppose if you're really adamant, you can probably just pull the whole radiator out with the fans on it and then unbolt them, rebolt them back on. But if you got to do a fan replace or motor replacement or fan one single, I don't know, one kind of those replacements, that's how you do it. Clearance on. That one's a little snug. This side's a little snug. I had to get a 1/4 inch 10 mil and knock them out, but it came out. But I wanted to point out, it's an OEM fan motor in here. This is the aftermarket Rock Auto one that I have purchased. Plugs are, of course, the same. But if you get them out and they squeak like little mice, I don't know if you can hear that or not. Yeah. If they're making that noise, chances are the motor's going to be going out very soon. You've probably heard that noise many times in your B-body, and that's what it is. That one totally went out, so change it out, obviously. And this one obviously is going out now, so I'm gonna have to get a new one ordered up for that. It doesn't matter if you do one or the other. They're all the same. They're like $12. They're not expensive by all means. Of course, this one, that's factory where the plug is, and like I mentioned, this is the other one. It's worked fine, and they're relatively simple to pop off. It's got three nuts, and then you got a nut right there for the fan, and change a rooney. But might get one ordered up because it's going to go out here sooner than later. Coolant is dripping out. Hopefully it doesn't go all over the place. Transmission line is off over here, drip drying out. Next step, going to take radiator lines off. Just strategically place those, I guess, so they don't leak everywhere. Then we'll pull the old radiator out, dump it out, whatever's left in there. Okay, so radiator is out. I just went ahead and dumped that side, unhooked the lower line over here, of course, put it over here. And it's up. Top one's bent over there. Went through, dumped a can of brake cleaner already on the bottom part of this lower radiator support. And I'm going to clean up frame rail, steering component, the sway bar, all this stuff. You know, we're in here going to get it a coat of paint because why not? So if you do these, just make sure to clean all the grease and grit and grime off, and then give her some scuffing up so it'll stay nice and pretty. Also, doing a radiator, check your hoses out. They might look fine up top like this one does. You get down here at the bottom, this is very, 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 like, gooey. Hoses aren't supposed to be gooey. So that's original. It was probably on its way, ready to pop here soon. The upper one over here, same thing. It's just, it's a wear item, so replace them. I think I got the lower one that I already got from Rock Auto. It's on clearance for like $1.62. I don't know. I think the upper one I actually paid $13 for. So yeah, you know, just do it upright. So we'll go ahead and get this all cleaned up. I'm going to paint it because I am still waiting on that upper hose. And we will show you what it looks like when it's painted. Well, all rebuilt. Lost the receipts. Dang it. Well, it's finally arrived. Boom. That's right. My cold case. Even got a dang old freaking badge. I might have to like apply that somewhere. I don't know. Both my rad hoses showed up. The upper one's even got the little like protector thing on it. Unreal. So let's unbox it and see what it looks like. Cold case stickers. That's neat. Oh, it's just one sticker. Man, it's a big radiator. It's so nice, I don't even want to use it. Jeez. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. Well, you can see we got our spots for our oil cooler. Got our fan mounting location. Gonna have to put the bracket on from the other one. The fan's up there and on the lower spot. Then we got a transmission side and then the fan mounting over here. Sealed, no cap. Oh, how shiny that thing is. It's nice and smooth. I'm gonna keep that polished. And this thing is just durable. When I say thick, it's thick. Got the nice drain port right here. Petcock for the slow. Yeah. So let's compare that to something to give you an idea. I'll just say this random circle thing from a fan. That's how thick this one is. All the way around. Now let's check out the stock one. Front one's the stock one. Not the back one. And you can see thickness wise. Boom. So this one did it well. You can see where the cooling fans were. Did me well. Minus where it was leaking. And I think the crack was forming right there. You can see it's been obviously going for a while. So luckily that didn't get into the oil cooler side and then start flooding the engine oil with coolant, because that would have been bad. But yeah, she served its purpose. 215,000 miles approved. So I did go ahead and rebuild that. I think I already mentioned that. But rebuilt these two with brake clean. You know, we're gonna have to reuse them. Just want to make sure that the bottoms are gonna fit. They should fit pretty well right on to there on both sides. Yeah, that one does all right. Yeah, that should fit. Well, let's smush it. I mean, biggest thing is that these things aren't blown apart. And then the radiator's not going to rub on metals, because that'd be not good. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall these. Put all the bracketry from the fan on here that we're going to need. And put the fans on, because I'm lazy. And we'll drop her in. And no, I didn't get my new motor yet. So we'll have to R&R that side later. We got the fittings on. Teflon tape. Got those snugged up. Got the bottom support on there. It's just that little clippy doodad. Rebuilt it with some paint. I did have to modify a little bit with a big washer and nut to get it so it's kind of sits up like this, and then I can secure it down with a body washer. Otherwise, let me show you here. Otherwise, if they were missing, it'd be like this, and the fan is gonna rub on the actual radiator. Threw a nut on there, not worried about it because it's got that big weld underneath it, and it's not gonna have a whole ton of vibrations. But yeah, that should secure down really well. And then top side is done. I'm gonna have to, I think, find a longer bolt to go through the whole thing. I don't know, I haven't made up my mind. Thinking about it. Got a couple sitting down in that bucket. It might work out. Okay, buttoned up pretty well. got the lower hose on. Actually just ended up using that top bracket in those screws because GM used it. Why not? Doesn't go all the way through, but you know, it goes through enough and secures, and I'm happy, and fans have got clearance. So yeah, let's go ahead and drop this guy in there and start hooking the lines up. Well, that escalated quickly. Someone did. Had to pull the computer air and take off. We seem to have been stuck down on that guy down there. So trying to manipulate it, massage it, so it's out of my way. But other than that, we're about in. So I do gotta call it a night because I gotta work early in the morning. So pick back up on this tomorrow. Welcome back. It's another day. As you can see by my outfit here. Fall has arrived in the UP. Yeah, it's cold. Anyway, I don't know where we left off at, so let's just dive into where we're at. So I'm pretty sure that we tried to stab this in, and it wasn't going all the way. And I think off camera I got a little frustrated and tried pulling it back out. So she's stuck. And here's why. You can kind of see there's a scratch right there, and that metal, come on, focus there, guy. So there's a scratch, and then there's the thing down there that's holding me up. Zoom. So that's got to get bent out. Also, I got parts. What parts did you get? Glad you asked there, random guy that I don't know anything about. I got an alternator, not for the Impala. I got a starter, not for the Impala. I got a cooling fan for the Impala. So I'm going to pull this back out, and we're going to put the cooling fan on that I said I wasn't going to do earlier in this video that I'm going to do now because it's a couple days later and it finally arrived. And mazel because it's all right here and ready to go. So let's do that. So both these sides, there and over here, seem to be interesting. So we're going to have to fix that. How am I going to fix that? I'm going to beat the hell out of it with a hammer and take a crescent wrench and I'm going to straighten it out. That's what I'm going to do. This is me right now. Not too impressed. So 35 hours later, we got massaged, and you can see over here what I did is I took a piece of old vacuum line, I split it, and I put it on that edge, kind of protect the radiator as it slides in. Hopefully it does something. Probably not. It'll probably just slide down and fall off as I start putting the radiator in, but I tried. I got a split one for this side, and then we're going to go ahead and drop her in. I did also go ahead and pull the fans off because it seems like there's a bit of a clearance issue with me leaving all this other stuff on, getting them in and out. Yeah. So those are off. Well, mods are everything these days. Had to take a piece of hose, put it right here on the condenser because it was starting to look like it might rub right there. Maybe it was just for me getting in and out. I don't know, but I put a piece of hose on there so it doesn't rub. Or if it does rub, it's going to be fine. Also, put this guy in over here after beating it profusely some more. So now that it's dry fit in there, and hopefully that thing holds up. We have to now move on to our lower radiator support mount bushings, the little rubbers on the bottom. And these things, they set in where these holes are over here on both sides. Well, when you have them in there, the big side obviously goes where the big hole's at, so backwards. We have to trim this flat because the new radiator, when it sits, It's not the top side, but it's the same. It actually creates like a weird side wear because they're not, you know, the radiator's thicker than the old one. So we got to trim it down. Not too bad. Top side, we're going to have to do the same, figure out something because the rubbers on the top are the same. We'll have to hack them, chop them. I am a little worried on the top side of some clunking going on here, but right now I'm worried about the bottom. And also we might have to modify the shroud to get it to fit because it's a little, yeah, we might have to notch these out right here, but we'll get there when we get there. Did you know that this new motor is bigger than this motor? And for whatever reason, it doesn't want to, you know, go into here. Kind of like what the OEM one does is just, you know, fits in there like it's supposed to. Or whatever. Maybe like that. Even if we go backwards with it, it doesn't fit. The passenger side one is bigger apparently because this motor right here is the same as this motor right here. So I guess I got a spare one on the shelf. All right, well, we got to get creative here. Shocking, I know. But what we got is oil cooler lines. Up here we got these little brass fittings, and then it goes into the stock location. Well, down on the bottom, it's got that funky long tuber one, like that. And where it plugs in down here, if we go to do it, we're going to hit the frame rail. So what I'm going to do is I got laying around in my junk pile this little tube. I already cut the end off. I got my flare nut, smaller one. And I'm going to take that one, I'm going to cut it off and put the short guy on there and hopefully put a 90-degree bend in it to get it around the frame. So that's what I'm working on. Well, there's what I come up with. It's not pretty. I'm not too pleased with it, but it's about the best I could do with what I got. So my curve off of the oil line was too tight to put a fitting on and flare it. So I just basically took a piece of hose, gas line, and was going to use this, but this is all crusted out, rotted out from the PVC and gross. But I just flared on a straight piece of pipe into a fitting and put that in there, and it stuck out about, I don't know, that far. Enough where I could put this hose on there, put a high fuel pressure clamp on it, put that bend in it, and then put it onto the straight piece down there. Whew. Still gotta put the fans in, but shroud is on tight. It's not going anywhere. So you see, I had to notch this out back here. Cracked the plastic, had to weld the plastic back together in there, but had to modify this bushing up here. This side, same thing, had a long one that went down. They had to get cut, but yeah. Then it's tight, all lines are tight. So let's put the fans on now and see where it is. Whew. Installed. Shroud came back out. Why, do you ask? Well, trying to get that guy into there and trying to get this guy into here, I had to seesaw the radiator. But now it's all back in. All the lines are hooked back up. Now I just gotta plug the intake and all that stuff back in and put this side thing, computer holder rigger back together. And I also got to rebolt up the... All right, she's back together. Guess let's fire her up and... Nope, I'm going to check the oil first. Then I'm going to fire it up. And go from there. I'm anticipating on transmission fluid being a quart low, because we're going to dump that into here. So we'll get that ready, get the coolant ready, check the fluids if she's running, and I'll be back when it's warmed up. Well, she's running. I don't see any leaks started. I did put about a gallon of water in here. And I'm going to put a gallon I got straight, full strength. I'll put in there. But, yeah. Good news is the lines are good. They're always a pain in the butt when they start leaking and spraying everywhere. So I get this thing up to operating temperature and check back. Oh, no issues. We got up to operating temperature. Actually, I run for quite a long time. Revved it. No issues. Next thing's gonna be test drive. We got no leaks. No leaks. So I'm gonna clean up some stuff because, you know, my hands are a little, and get the car off the ramps. We're gonna go take this thing for a test drive, see what it does. Well, there she be. Done did good. No leaks. Sitting there running, or was running. All the way here. We're down by the ore dock in Marquette. Sweet. So that's going to wrap up this video on a install of a cold case radiator. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.